Coming up, we have your October 2024 Las Vegas high-rise market update.
Hey everyone, I'm Steve.
And I'm Christina.
We are the Towers Group with Real Broker, your local Las Vegas and Henderson realtors, here today to bring you your
October 2024 Las Vegas high-rise market update.
Awesome.
And stick around because we're going to talk about a lot of new developments that are coming up in the high-rise market.
And some people are probably watching this and they're like, hang on a minute, I'm used to watching like two pretty girls doing this, and why is a bald English guy here? My wife Kristen, she gave birth, so I'm stepping in to assist with Christina, and I'm excited to do this, Christina, because I never sell high-rise properties. I don't know much at all about them, and so I'm interested to kind of hear the data and see what you make of all of it.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for joining me. I would have been a little lonely by myself. All right, so let's get right into the numbers. So we'll start, as always, with median sales price, which was $373,000, and that is down 12.1% from this time last month, and it's up 1.7% from this time last year.
That sounds quite a lot. Is that normal? Do you normally have large dips like that?
This is a pretty big dip. So this, I think we were just talking about this earlier. This is something that's happening because of this time of year and what this year is too, with the election. I've seen a lot of people kind of just putting on their brakes, and especially in those luxury prices as well. So let's go into average sales price. So the average sales price was $515, which is down 9.5% from this time last month, and it's just about the same as last year. So similar situation happening there. This is based off of course, your highest price sale as well would influence that. So the highest price sale last month was only 1.4, which is very low. And this was at Veer Towers, which is also different. I guess we actually didn't sell any last month in Waldorf Astoria, which is always that highest price sale. So yeah, we've got one over in Veer.
Yeah, it seems like the same sort of thing's happening, right? Where people are just, there's an anticipation. And I think that if I'm interested to hear your opinion, Christina, like if you're a seller right now, I think this is one of the worst possible times to put your house on the market. We've got quite a lot of inventory at the Thomas Group that we're actively marketing and selling, trying to sell, right? But the feedback that I've been hearing from a lot of other brokers, a lot of investors, guys that flip properties, is they're struggling to actually make investments into other properties now because the listings aren't selling.
Yeah.
And these are remodeled homes, beautiful, stunning properties.
Yeah.
Which, on the flip side, I think that if you are a buyer, like this is one of the best times. Like right now, I've got some sellers right now that are so motivated. I've like the most motivated sellers I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
But the buyers out there like, oh no, I'm going to wait until next year, see what happens. Right. And then what happens next year is more buyers are going to come in the market.
Exactly.
So who knows? Yeah. But I would say if you're a buyer right now, amazing. If you're a seller right now, you might want to sit this one out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Definitely. All right, so let's go into closed. So we had 42 closings, which is down 35.4% from this time last month, and it's down 44.7% from this time last year.
44% from last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So has that, I mean, you guys track this, but have the closed sales been decreasing month on month? Do you know?
Actually, let me see. Last month, no, it's been in the 60s and 70s, 50s. This is quite a dip for sure.
Yeah, it is. Interesting. We'll see what the next month and the rest of the year pans out. How do you anticipate the rest of the year looking?
I mean, again, don't have a crystal ball, but we do have pendings, so we can look at those.
Good, yeah.
That'll help us anticipate what's going to happen the next month. So we have a 55 pending right now. So that's up 1.9% from this time last month, and it's down 28.6% from last year. So it looks like a little bit more. 42 is really low.
Yeah,
closings. That's just
when we think about every single unit. I mean, in some of these buildings, there's like 1,000
Yeah.
You know, like units maybe, like, and there's only, so that's very, 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 very low. You know, just totally off topic, but have you heard about like any, you know, people that are moving from Florida here because of all of what's going on with the condos and stuff out in Florida? Have you had any?
I personally have not yet. I guess we'll see if that comes.
I mean, a lot of those people can't sell them, so that's the challenge that they have. Yeah, they want to, but
but they can't do it. So so far not yet, but we'll see. Hopefully, come on over.
And I mean,
we don't have flooding here. So.
we don't. You know, one of the great things, right? People are like, it's so hot in Vegas, but we don't have tornadoes. Like, I don't have to worry about these hurricanes coming and stuff. Maybe we'll get a little earthquake now and again.
You
like,
really feel
you can barely feel it. Yeah. And I think that what's going on with those. I mean, I might be jumping the gun. I think we were going to talk about it. The other towers that are going up in town, they're not for sale. They're rental towers, right?
Yeah.
I think like a lot of those people that are now looking to relocate from different areas that might not necessarily want to jump in and buy something can start renting and feeling these lifestyles out.
Definitely. And if you want that brand new construction and that kind of thing, then those are some great options for you. But you can rent in all of these towers too, and some of them do even have like shorter term.
That's a good point.
Rentals. You know, great point. 3 months, 6 months. You know, if you don't want to, just test the waters for a little bit and then, go ahead and move forward with the purchase.
That's great information. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's go into new listings. So we have 142 new listings, and that's down 9.6% from last month and up 37.9% from last year.
So inventory definitely growing.
Inventory is growing. So speaking of, we have 510 in our inventory, which is up 4.1% from last month, and it's up 56% from last year. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I mean, that 56% might sound like huge, right?
Yeah.
But when we put it into perspective, I think last year we hardly had any inventory.
Yeah.
Have you got the months of inventory?
I do.
Yep.
Yep. Months of inventory. We have 14. So that's up 68.7% from last month, and it's up 174.5%. Wow. Is that right?
It could be. Yeah. I mean, it's
wow. That is very high. That's incredibly high. We've never seen anything like that.
This is like, so I think that last month, was it always was it seller's market last month?
So last month we had 8.3 months of inventory, which jumped way fast.
So from September you had 5. Is that 5 and then 8.3? Oh no, that was September.
That's last year. Yeah. So 8, 7, 7, 6. It's been increasing, but nothing like 14.
Heavily favors the buyer.
Crazy. Yeah.
Heavily favors buyers out there, right? Yeah. And if you're wondering like why does that favor buyers, typically and Christina probably correct me if this is incorrect with high-rise properties, but in single-family homes, 6 months of inventory is typically balanced, right? Which doesn't favor neither the buyer or the seller. We've been seeing that creeping up, right? I think we're around about 3.8 months in single-family homes inventory, just to give you kind of perspective. And now 14 months, that's heavily favoring the buyer, right? You've got leverage. You can negotiate hard. You can get picky, right? Like I know you've been negotiating hard for a lot of your clients, and Christine we see the contracts that Christina puts through, and you should see the things that she's able to get for her clients. So if you're looking at buying or selling a house property, make sure you give her a call. You'll be doing yourself a disservice if you don't.
Definitely reach out. All right, so let's talk about days on market. We've got average days on market is 98, and that's up 25.6% from last month, and it's up 188.2% from last year. So again, I mean, that reflects the same thing.
Yeah.
If we've got all that inventory,
Sounds great.
Yep.
Very good.
All right. So those are your numbers.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Christina. That was very insightful. Definitely opened my eyes to the real estate market. And I may be back with you next month. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see what's happening with Kristen and the baby. But thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. And before we let you go, let's talk about those new buildings, those new developments.
Yes.
So there's so much going on in the high-rise development here in Vegas. It's crazy. especially because I know we've talked about this before, but we haven't had a new high rise since 2008. And now we've got tons of things being built. So we've got the Midtown in the Arts District. We've got Cello Tower, which is luxury high rise in Symphony Park. There's the Four Seasons in McDonald Highlands. But also over in Symphony Park, they're building several other high-rise buildings. Now, these are not, as you mentioned earlier, these are not for purchase. These are going to be apartments. And we don't know a whole lot of details on these yet, but they could be, shorter term too. You might not have to commit to an entire year. We don't know anything about that yet. But if you wanted to get into Symphony Park and just get a feel for that neighborhood, it's growing incredibly. It's so crazy.
Every time I go there, it feels like it's changing. I'm like, well, when did this thing go up?
It's exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah, and Symphony Park is such a beautiful area. I just was over there because I was filming a video, and I love it there because that's where, when I first moved to Las Vegas, I was dancing with the Nevada Ballet Theater, and that's where it performed. And it was so beautiful. The theater was so beautiful, but around it was kind of like,
like you're Jackie.
Hang out there. But they're completely changing that. So it's super exciting.
Oh, it's really exciting. And when you kind of like, zoom out a little bit and look at like the 30,000 foot perspective here, we've got people that are spending massive amounts of money, right? Developers investing into Las Vegas because they see what's happening here with the influx of sports teams. We're not just a one-trick pony and that, it's all gambling and party related, right? We're now turning into a family destination.
Yeah.
And there's an influx of people. So I think, overall we're growing and is all very, very positive. But, right now in the minute, if you're looking at, buying, amazing time. You're looking at selling, maybe not.
Yeah, true, definitely. And with that, if you are interested in buying or selling high rises here in Las Vegas, I'm your high rise expert, and I'd be more than happy to schedule a free consultation with you. And all of my info is at our website, thethomasgrouplv.com, and my extension is 4. See you next time. Bye.